And I've never once had an agent say, "Oh, well, I don't want you to do that." Like they don't care. You just got to explain to them why you're doing that. But no, they may say to you, "Are you a wholesaler?" Because when they see and/or signs, they may say, "Oh, this is a wholesaler." And so really the question isn't like, why do you have and/or signs? That's easy. It's what do you say when they say, "Are you a wholesaler?" So my response when someone says, "Are you a wholesaler?" is I say, "Do you mean, do we sometimes assign contracts?" Yes, we do that all the time, actually. Sometimes we buy, sometimes we resell, sometimes we'll do a light rehab, an average rehab, or a heavy rehab. Sometimes we'll buy and hold. Sometimes we pass deals off to some of our partners and they take the deal to the finish line. I don't really know right now what we're going to do with this deal. I just know that if we get it at this price and we sign a contract, that we'll get to the finish line with it, and you'll get paid your commission. The seller will get everything we agreed on. So that's how I diffuse that. Are you a wholesaler?
Do they ask that a lot? Because it seems like it doesn't really matter.
I don't get that a lot. I really don't.
Do it. I think it was one deal we did. Somebody asked that, and the trick is never over-explain. If you over-explain, that could also kind of screw you too. So if they say wholesale, I say no, but I have wholesaled. Like we are flipping this, but in the case that life happens and things go south because it's real estate, we do give it away sometimes as an exit. So I say like we might use it as an exit, but I want to make sure that like no, we are closing this. We have zero intentions of wholesaling. So
this is another reason why I think it's important to double close some transactions, because when you double close, you can actually legitimately say to sellers and agents that you buy property, because you did. Like Brian, you bought that house. You and Jared bought that house.
Yep, exactly.
Now you were on title for 5 minutes, but you still bought it.
Yep.
Right. So don't say, sometimes we buy them. If you don't ever buy and you only do assignments, you won't be able to say that. But, so just be open and be honest, but you want to be able to say, I think you want to be able to say you're an investor and you have multiple strategies. And so Truman had a deal where when he first started calling, where he explained it.
My first call.
Oh, your first call.
Yeah.
Tell us how it happened.
So, I called and I offered, and she was like, okay. And it was going good. And, Jerry was in the Grand Canyon, like at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. So I didn't have a lot of guidance. And this was my first call. And my dad was also gone. So it was just me. And, so I was trying to text Jerry, but he didn't have any service. And so, at the time I didn't know this, but in Michigan, contracts are already reassignable.
Yeah, and they're assignable. Yeah.
Yes. And so, it was nearing the end, and I was like, "Hey, is this contract reassignable?" And she was like, "What? What? Why would you need to do that?" So then I answered the exact same thing that you said. I was like, "Oh, I'm an investor. I might pass it off to one of my partners. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I just need the flexibility to reassign it if needed."
Yeah.
And she did not understand, and she like asked me 3 more times. I kind of gave the same response, and then it kind of just went cold, and it was done from there. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really exactly know what I was doing yet, so like, and I didn't have a lot of guidance. But I think I learned the most from that. Like,
did she ask you, "Are you a wholesaler?" Did she say that? Oh, okay. She didn't say that. Okay.
She asked me about 3 times, "Why would you need to reassign it before closing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So it totally fell apart, and I was kind of sad about it for a long time. I thought it was a deal.
Okay.
And it would have been a deal at that price, correct?
Which is that the Rochester one? No, not that one.
Limerick in Oakland.
Oh yeah.
The green one.
Yeah, I think that was a deal. And then she went dark, right? Was that what happened? She wouldn't talk to you anymore?
And I was like, yeah, I totally shouldn't have asked that.
Yeah, okay. So the problem was you didn't even need to ask that.
No, I didn't know, because I was looking on the contract to see. It apparently doesn't even need to. So.
No, you brought up an objection that wasn't an objection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of,
But hey, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how you learn.
I learned the most from that. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
And I didn't do it this time so far. So, on this one.
On the main one, yeah. That's good.
I learned.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about learning. Yeah. Good. Tyler, what else we got?
I think that's it for now. We can let's move on. We had some people say we want to see some cold calls.
Okay. So Truman and Johnny, let's pull up some leads that you've got.
I got like
We got 8. Awesome. Let's pull up. And Truman, let's go one at a time. So we'll pull one up. We'll run some quick numbers.
I haven't texted any of the agents though, so
Okay, that's fine.
I just got their information put down.
But you ran the deal through Deal Analyzer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And comped it in.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go to your
Property
workflow.
workflow, yeah.
Okay, more on this side, Johnny. So you're in the screen here. Okay, here we go. So in Pontiac, Michigan, Cherokee is in the historic district. So this is like the high end part of that town. It's like the highest price point area. Okay, so this is it. You ran an analyzer.
I can't remember how. I think this one might have been really far under.
Oh, this one we were looking at a minute ago. Okay, so 62. Yeah, one. So way off here, right? Because what are they listed at? Do you remember?
It's like 2 something, 2,750.
Okay, and you got the agent on this one?
Yeah.
You got their info?
Got the info right here.
And what's the ask price on this?
The ask price.
Yeah, the list price.
It's 257, right? Oh no, our buy price.
No, what the agent has it listed for.
Yeah, it's 257. I think.
Okay.
Is that the correct square footage?
4 bedroom, 2 bath. They just lowered the price 12,000. Drastically reduced. Must see this beautifully renovated. Okay, so when it says beautifully renovated, this may not be. But you know what I think we do? Let's do what Brian does. I think you guys start doing that. I've been having Truman and Johnny just call Brian, just call on listings, you know. But if you're putting in more than an hour a day, you're going to quickly burn through anything that's distressed on market. And that's where just calling on everything like Brian does is going to be really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys get that? You guys see that?
Yeah, I see that now.
So let's just call on it anyway. And Johnny, run through with me real quick what you're going to say on this call.
Just gonna talk to him about this property
Mm-hmm.
and ask him if he has any other ones, and also just kind of establish that relationship.
Yeah, so you know that this isn't going to be, although that roof looks kind of,
I remember looking through this and I thought it looked.
let's look through it real quick. Showing us a bazillion of the outside. The write-up said, oh, here we go. Okay, so that's not really, I wouldn't call this a rehab. No, this is not really, I mean, it's clean. I would still treat this like you want to make an offer, but what you do on something like this where you're 100 grand under is, okay, so they tiled up there. I'm just going to go no, but these wood floors need redone. No, this is not a rehab. Okay, at least not based on these pictures. So there's a couple things you could do. You could just go in here and just make contact, tell the agent that you're, like Brian does. You tell the agent, hey, I'm an investor. Brian likes to lead in with, do you think the seller would be interested in creative? It's just an icebreaker. It's just it's just a good question to ask. If they say yes, great. Maybe it goes down. Maybe it turns into something. 9 out of 10 times, they're probably going to say no, right, Brian? And then what you want to do is you want to say, hey, I'm looking for a property. I'm an investor. I'm cash. Do you have anything right now I can look at?
Yeah. I would say before I go, like, okay, cool, no worries. Before I go, that way it just seems like you really were just in and out, and that's all you cared about. And it just seems more genuine as opposed to like you just asked that question just to interview them. Then they might be like, huh. But yeah.
One thing that you might want to add, Brian, maybe you do this, but one thing that I would add would be, can you save my number and call me the next time you get a property that might be good for a cash buyer?
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
They won't. They'll forget as soon as they hang up. But
yeah, it doesn't matter anyway, but might work.
I would say 20% of agents are actually good agents, and they actually are networking and they're building a list, and they want you as a cash buyer.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. No offense if you're an agent on the phone right now, but it's amazing to me how bad agents are. If agents ran their agent business like we run our wholesale business, they would completely crush it.
Yeah. They just don't treat it like a business.
They're terrible follow-up. They're terrible. Yeah, I mean, I'm generalizing, but in my experience, they're not really working leads like we do. You know, if I were an agent, I would want to know every single cash buyer in the market, and I would be calling them every time I get deals.